Alright. Oh yeah.
When I published that book, the important American art critic Donald Casbit wrote an almost embarrassing, glowing review, but mentioned a minor criticism that my book would deal too little with the self. In a way, Donald's casual remark cost me 8 years of research and the new book. We do not need to change art. We need to change how we understand art. We need artworks projected between our bodies and the world as helpful catalyst for our mind to acknowledge being. The way we might need to stick to keep our balance. The tradition that art should rattle the viewer assumes the viewer has a perfect life, which I think is a serious error.
Fascinating how they reacted on art and how it triggered their possibility.
And of course knowledge is not bad, but viewing is better than reading, I'd say.
Alright. Oh yeah. Come on, man.
You can offer it for €20. So.
Go ahead.
Ray is also unique in his efforts to bridge art, science, and philosophy, with a particular interest and focus in neuroscience and concrete ongoing collaborations with science.
Human-made translations of exactly such experiences, and therefore as accessible to other humans. Artworks that successfully combine features of happiness with features of unhappiness, of life and death, in an aesthetics that synthesizes the perfect with the imperfect, move us and stay in our
We must make a distinction between bodiness and embodiment, a close neighbor. In Merleau-Ponty's
You argue
definition,
persuasively that we must understand our experience of art in broader terms, not just as a mental encounter, but as the experience of a unity of both mind and body.
Would you accept the idea that you're an anti-theory theorist?
It sounds like a brilliant compliment.
Is this an empty body, so to speak, an impersonal or pre-personal body, or is it also a subject in a sense that we haven't
started off with a quote by William James, who very often referred to himself as an anti-intellectual, and of course, privileged experience in his own.
I asked the guard, how many minutes everybody stands in the front of? He said 1 second.
How you thought about that, equating in some way complexity and difficulty.
Fine art should not necessarily express happiness or sadness or whatever. It can be anything, as long as it evokes in you a diversion of attention of your.
Talks more about obsession. I wanted to put in a word in favor of obsession.
Is there a chance that this might fall in line?
It will never lead to the 10 golden rules of making a great work of art. Unfortunately or unfortunately.
Alright.
Frey brings the unique perspective of the artist to the subject, a perspective informed by an amazing breadth of knowledge.
This book is only a short introduction to my book. I still hope to make clear that we are on the verge of an entire different approach for understanding art, focusing on the whole mind-to-body experience of art, in which, for obvious reasons,
buy the book, read the book, invest a lot of time. It's thick. It's rich with ideas.
This is what I want to do the rest of my life, because I can take in information while I...
The music and the sound then becomes white noise.
then it would be interesting for museums to have to reconsider what
Let's do that then. Alright.
Introducing bodiness as new notion linking neuroscience to art perception. And without any further ado, help me welcoming Mr. Frey Ilgen.
Visual artwork, much more is happening than only a narrative illustrated in some materials or art historical importance. Imperfection
or unfinishedness in artworks automatically attracts our gaze as something familiar.
How does music play into this in terms of an art form?
From a biological point of view, you can, at some point, I'm sure, establish some kind of parameters that will have an effect also on galleries, museums.
Right now, thank you very much for this fascinating, fantastic talk, and thanks for being here.
All right. Oh yeah.